Okay, let's talk about Travis Hamonic. Now, ever since that trade request became public, I've had a lot of people ask me, because they know I'm an Oilers fan, what does Edmonton give up for him? Now, over the last few years, fans of other teams are always telling me, oh, the Oilers, they got to trade one or two of their talented young forwards and get a stud defenseman, because their defense core is just hot garbage. And you know, I probably would have agreed with them, but this year, I just don't think that's the case anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. I really like Travis Hamonic. I think he's a great hockey player. I think he's an even better person. But as it sits now, I don't think that Edmonton has a desperate need to trade for him. When I look at their defense core right now, the main problem that I see with it is that it's young. Now, everybody knows the Oilers have needed a legitimate number one defenseman since 2006. And in 3 years, I believe Darnell Nurse is going to be a top 20 defenseman in the NHL. He has all the tools and the drive to succeed. And Oscar Klefbom is rapidly developing into a solid second option. Now, Griffin Reinhart, although I initially didn't really like that trade, has played some excellent positional hockey, but he still needs to work on his foot speed. And Brandon Davidson has been a really pleasant surprise. I think the important thing to remember here is the average age of these four guys is just under 22 years old. Now, having said that, you can never have too many good defensemen. And like I said, Hamonic is a beauty. Even though the Oilers don't need to trade for him, they probably should. So what do they give up? Now, this got me thinking, what is the actual core of this team? Who's untouchable? Now, I know this is probably going to be a bit controversial and rub some people the wrong way, but in my opinion, and keep that in mind, this is just my opinion, this is the core that the Oilers should be building around. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Darnell Nurse, and Oscar Klefbom. Now, I know some of you are probably like, where's Hall? Where's Eberle? Where's Yakupov? This is not a knock on any of those players. You just don't build your team around wingers. A winning hockey philosophy is back check, forecheck, paycheck. Centermen and defensemen do more heavy lifting at both ends of the ice, and that's who you build your team around. In my opinion, this is why Washington has yet to win a Stanley Cup with Ovechkin, and why Calgary could never win with Jarome Iginla. Yes, they're both surefire Hall of Fame players, but the problem is they can only do so much because they're wingers. Now, I'm not saying that the Oilers should trade Hall to get Hamonic. That would obviously be a massive overpayment. I'm not even going to give specifics on what player or players the Oilers should deal, because I feel those conversations just evolve into, hey, we'll trade you this bum player who skates on his ankles, plus throw in a draft pick for your quality player.
Traded the van for it, straight up.
What I am saying is that if Chiarelli needs to part with one of those 5 core guys that I just mentioned to get Hamonic, he shouldn't even consider it. So, who do you think the Oilers should give up for Hamonic? Do they need to make this deal? And who do you see as the core of this hockey team? And most importantly, what do you think of my sweater? There's lots to discuss here. Leave your comments below and I'll see you next week.